And now I'm very pleased to announce our next speaker, Dirk Wegener from the Federation of European Risk Management Associations, FERMA, as you may know, this body in Europe. IRMSA works very closely with FERMA as being one of the bodies, associations that are part of FERMA that IRMSA is a member of. That's the International Federation for Risk Management and Insurance Associations. As most of you know, IRMSA is very involved with the global work that we do at FERMA, and FERMA is one of our very close partners. Now, Dirk at the moment is the president of FERMA in Europe, but in normal day life, he's the group head corporate for insurance at Deutsche Bank. Dirk, thank you very much for being with us today. Dirk is actually in Germany, so he's coming all the way from there, but on the phone. So if I can just ask our members to be patient, because there will be a little bit of a delay, as you know very well, with our international calls, and enjoy the time speaking to someone that is in that Northern Hemisphere where there's so much action. Thank you so much, Dirk.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I trust you can hear me well. So, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, thank you again for inviting me to your conference and allowing me to speak to you this morning. Please accept my sincere apologies for not being able to join you per video, but IT security restrictions will unfortunately not allow me to connect as I obviously would have preferred. I enjoy the privilege to speak to you as president of FERMA, which the association was just introduced. In November 2019, FERMA hosted our last conference in Berlin, and we choose the title Aim for the Future, Entering a New Dimension of Risk. Well, not even 6 months later, this title almost sounds prophetic, but believe me, while we had numerous good reasons for choosing it, we had of course not envisaged this actual devastating pandemic, which is undoubtedly a new dimension of risk. It is of course new in many ways, and its devastating impact on our societies in terms of tragic losses of life and tremendous financial losses to our economies, individual consumers and companies have unfortunately not yet come to end. Like everybody, also we as risk managers have to ask ourselves what we can do to strengthen the resilience of our society, to cope with such devastating challenges by increasing the resilience of the companies we work for. And here, I think the theme of your conference, business continuity management, is not a project, it is a culture. It's absolutely to the point. Such known unknown systemic risks, like a pandemic, require an agile corporate-wide business continuity management, which is not done in a day, week, or month, like ideally projects are. Of course, the health and well-being of employees, clients, and others always come first. And such a determined safety culture is a necessity for every company and remains essential. But this needs to be supplemented by a continuity culture where all functions and processes of the company are designed to the highest degree of possible resilience towards systemic risk. Then all employees will ask themselves if the processes owned by them will remain operational even in case of a longer disruption or lockdown. This requires a business continuity management which is deeply embedded in the organizations, and a risk manager with strong communication skills to conduct a continuous conversation on all levels of the company regarding potential scenarios and continuity actions. I noticed that many of you speakers of your conference will provide interesting insights on how this can actually be achieved today. But this culture element must even go beyond the individual company. In particular, as risk management associations, we also need to ask ourselves what we can do to actually support the vision of resilient societies and economies. Well, I believe the answer is very simple and sounds almost simplistic. We need to strengthen the appreciation of state-of-the-art risk management in our societies and make it an element of our business culture. If you think about how societies or governments currently react to assure a speedy recovery of the economies, they provide stimulus packages like central banks using the instrument of quantitative easing to stimulate the economies. This is inevitable. But these stimulus packages are not risk-based, i.e., this financial support does not reward the level of individual risk management implemented at individual companies. We at FERMA believe that stimulus packages should at least partially reward the risk management achievements of companies too. Furthermore, the spread of COVID-19 around the world highlighted a principal weakness in insurance markets. Although the insurance sector provides coverage for a range of unforeseen events, there is currently little to no coverage available for financial losses resulting from non-physical damage business interruption. Due to their large-scale effect, it is beyond the capital of the private insurance market to provide material capacity for transfer of such systemic risk. Consequently, despite being able to provide targeted coverage for disruptions resulting from physical catastrophes, such as floods or fires, the private insurance market alone is unable to cover situations that result in non-physical damage business interruption triggered by systemic or catastrophic risk. Therefore, FERMA has written to the European Commission and suggested the establishment of a pan-European public-private partnership to cover catastrophic risk. FERMA is committed to co-constructing a resilience framework for catastrophic risks, a multi-layered and graduated public-private partnership that would provide sufficient flexibility to enable an effective response to a range of currently uncovered catastrophic risks leading to non-physical damage business interruption. The resilience framework for catastrophic risk would function on 4 levels. Firstly, or first level, company-level risk management, i.e., anticipation, identification, prevention, and mitigation of risk using the techniques of state-of-the-art risk management. Second level, transfer of risk to private insurance and reinsurance markets, which develop enhanced coverage for non-physical damage business interruption for such catastrophic risk at affordable level. Thirdly, third level, assess national member states pool guarantees if these already exist in European Union member states, which should be an efficient way to increase the level of available coverage on national level. And finally, the fourth level, a European Union supported vehicle or mechanism allowing the convergence of all national systems to an EU standard to effectively support the resilience of the European economies for devastating impacts of future catastrophic risks. This framework will optimize the use of taxpayers' funds by giving companies fairer access to state funds. His insurance-based schemes permit the establishment of clear and proportionate parameters, utilizing tried and tested risk management methodologies, such as business continuity management, that can accurately assess contributions that may be required by companies in order to access the system. The resilience framework for catastrophic risks will therefore enhance business resilience by incentivizing risk management methodologies that encourage the prudential assessment and identification of risks needed to access public funds. This will also be instrumental to enhance the appreciation of state-of-the-art risk management in our society, which will support our profession to embrace its future with confidence. Thank you very much for your attention. And I'm looking forward to receive your questions or comments.
Dirk, thank you very much. Really nice hearing from you out of Germany. We've just had a trip last year to your conference there, and it was marvelous. The insights that we gathered, and also all the lessons learned we brought back to South Africa. So thank you very much. Just wanted to check. We've got some questions. Hi. Dirk, can you hear me? We good? So just wanted to check here. As far as business continuity management as a culture is concerned, what are the 3 lessons? This is a question from Zavo. What are the 3 biggest recommendations, or the most significant recommendations rather, that you can make in as far as changing the culture within your organization to make business continuity management more acceptable and more effective?
Well, I would say, even though it's almost unfortunate, but given the magnitude of this crisis, and given that it has almost impacted everybody, and the world has completely changed, and all people who work were confronted by measurements taken by the various companies to assure the continuity of the various businesses. I think, even though, again, it's unfortunate, that this kind of confrontation is, of course, demonstrating to everybody that these things can happen, and that, of course, makes a difference whether or not you are prepared. So, I mean, for years and years, we have been asked to test business continuity measurements. And now, as the situation was there, people had to work at home, and then you really find out if your IT equipment is feasible to do this. And you really experience the unfortunate truth that if it's not, you are not able to work. So I think just for the experience as such will, of course, be very instrumental to implement this idea that business continuity management is almost a cultural thing, or it is a cultural thing.
Dirk, a question from Nokawe. In checking in business continuity management, where do you think this should sit within an organization?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't get it.
The question is from Nokawe, and it answering or asking the question about where is the best place to position business continuity management in an organization.
Sorry, the line is very poor. Is it about how to embed business continuity management in an organization?
It's really asking the question, the responsibility for business continuity management. Should that reside with risk management? Should it reside with compliance, or maybe with audit, health and safety? Where do you think is the best position for it to be and to be effective?
Yeah, okay. Understood. Sorry. Well, I think it's, of course, as always with responsibilities, it's of course a little bit dangerous to say, okay, this responsibility is only and exclusively with this or this department, right? So in particular here, as I said, I think it's very important that all employees have a sense that they have an idea how to continue their processes in case of a disruption. So I think in that sense, it also fits with the risk owners, but of course you need some kind of coordination. Of course you need some kind of preparatory work. You need prevention measures and all that. So I think it's of course spread across the organization, and everybody should bring in what he or she is technically able to provide to support the overall idea. But if we talk about the ultimate responsibility, of course, I would be in favor to say, also in terms of, bringing all the various ties together, that this is, of course, the role of the risk manager and he or she should be also the person who is reporting to the board about the current status of the risk management activities within the organization. So I think maybe we need to distinguish a little bit between an overall reporting responsibility and versus an actual responsibility to make sure that the actions are there and in place.
Excellent. Dirk, thank you very much. I'm handing you over to Gillian. Thank you, Dirk.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dirk, and so good to see you. Hope you're keeping safe in Germany, and we really appreciate you joining us today.